Hello everyone, so this is Chicago Med Season 3, Episode 5, Mountains and Molehills. I'm gonna focus on the three main medical storylines first, and then I'm gonna get to the smaller storylines. So basically, the first one we're introduced to is this woman named Bena Quemo, who is from Ghana, who is in her early 20s, and complaining she has dizziness and disorientation, and she has a seizure upon entering the ED. And April and Choi are on the case. That's who was on the case. And basically, they find lesions on her stomach and back. And Choi believes it's AIDS-related, an AIDS-related illness. But she refuses to get an HIV test. So, basically find out that she's had several ER trips to another hospital in town, and so they since she's refusing to get a test for the HIV, they try to get psych to see if she is incompetent to make medical decisions on her own behalf, so that they can force her to take the HIV test and then prescribe her medicine for it. But Charles, doesn't think that she's incompetent, so they try to find some way to get her to take the test. But and the reasons why she doesn't want to take the test is because since she was from Africa, specifically Ghana, she it seems like she most likely saw so many people in her in her town that have contracted HIV or AIDS, and they were discriminated against and stuff like that. And she doesn't want to be like that. She doesn't want that to happen to her here, even though she's not back in Africa or Ghana. So, so, so eventually, Sharon Goodwin tells her of shows her some files of her former patients during her time as a nurse, all of whom died due to AIDS back in the 1980s, because they didn't know much about it back then, let alone have a treatment for it. So she eventually persuades Abena to take the test, which I think is a good thing. So that pretty much is the whole that whole medical storyline. The second medical storyline we are introduced to is I think 15 or 16-year-old kid who no, the second one is a mother whose daughter's name is Denise, has been who seems to can't walk straight. Sorry about that, but anyway, so her daughter seems to can't walk straight in a straight line and keeps bumping into things and all that, and one of her feet keeps dragging on the floor. So Will and Natalie take on this case because they're walking into the ED right when all this is happening. So they're running tests and running tests and running tests, and they can't find anything. And it isn't until Will himself starts mirroring symptoms of Denise is when they find out that before getting on the plane to come back from Australia, Denise was bitten by a tick, and got tick paralysis. Um, and when Will picked her up in the waiting room with the ED, the tick had already detached from her skin and jumped onto him and latched onto him. So so that's the second big storyline, a big medical storyline. The third one is a 16-year-old kid named Spencer Buren, who was in a motor vehicle accident, and he hit another driver by accident. A 30-year-old woman, I think her name is Melody. I think that's what it is. I'll find it later. But Noah and Dr. Rhodes are on this case, and basically Spencer is, upset about the fact that he crashed into this other woman, excuse me, by accident and all that. And he is feeling so guilty that he asks to be able to go talk with her, and later on in the episode when Noah does try to take him to talk with her, since her husband signed off on it, he ends up um, he ends up collapsing onto the floor out of the wheelchair that he was in. Um, but before he does, he complains of a headache and all that, and they try to revive him, but then he dies. So Noah tasks himself with telling his Spencer's mom and brother that he died, most likely of a delayed epidural hematoma. I think that's a brain bleed. Obviously, delayed brain bleed. So I think that's what it is. So he tells the family and Spencer's brother, um, and so Spencer's brother starts um, hitting him, hitting Noah, um, saying that Noah killed him because he said that Spencer was going to be okay, and clearly he's not okay. He's dead. So um, that's basically the um, those are basically the three medical storylines. The smaller ones or I think there's only one. No, there's two small storylines. One is Reese, where she, after seeing Noah, um, um, getting beat up, she yells inside of the ED at Maggie, saying there should have been security there, even though that's not protocol. To have security there when telling a family, either family member or family, that their loved one is dead. And she does all this in front of everybody, and so she, when Charles confronts her about it, she denies anything going on with her. We see her looking at guns at the end of the episode, and we also see her being told that she can't purchase a firearm, but a firearm ID card, which will take a few months to get. So she is being presented the option of getting pepper spray. The other small storyline is Robin stealing a scarf while she and Rose are waiting for a table at a restaurant. And so that's the whole episode, really. Next week on Chicago Med, doctor attacks the patient and looks like they're going to get suspended. So I have two predictions. One for the long term, which is I think Rose will find out about Robin stealing the scarf, and will have her say, okay, I promise not to steal anymore, but she's not going to stop stealing, so that's going to cause them to break up. I think that's going to be long term. The short term prediction for next week is I I feel like the possibility of Reese attacking a patient is a red herring because I mean, yeah, they've set her up to um they set her up to be on edge last several episodes. So I doubt that she's going to attack a patient. I mean, it sounds like they did it like whatever happened was happened purposefully, um, and not something by accident, which is what it sounds like they're trying to set up Reese to do is have it be by accident. So I don't know, and I think it might be Natalie because she has this history of forcefully saying like she says the wrong things to either a patient or a patient's family members, and so I mean, I personally think that it might be Natalie who attacked a patient and might get suspended. Personally, that is just me. Um, so that's really all I have for right now, as far as this episode goes. Um, and I will have all the last 3 episodes of Vikings up tomorrow, probably. Uh, and I will have uh, Chicago Fire up tomorrow too. I hope. I hope I'll have it up tomorrow. Depends on what I have to do for work tomorrow, but um, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have for right now as far as today's recaps go. So bye.